Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to break down the 6-game NBA main slate on Tuesday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos breaking down NBA, NFL, PGA, and esports daily fantasy sports slates. Before we get into the breakdown, I do want to thank you guys for all support. Currently at 3.79 thousand subscribers, so if we keep this pace up, might be at 4K by the end of the week. So yeah, if you guys enjoy all the free content, if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. Really does help me out. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, just the DK DFS show. The link is in the description below. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So before we get into the players and the prices for the 6-game slate, what we can do is we can look back on my lineup here from Monday. So Monday, again, I got to get my tilting out of the way first because just like every slate so far, I've had to deal with severe foul trouble. Now, not with the bigs this time. Nope. Troy Brown, 3 fouls in the first half, missed out on a good amount of minutes. And SGA, 5 fouls early in the third quarter. It's literally, I was literally just looking at it. I'm like, I can't even get mad anymore. It's just funny. Like every single slate. Multiple players too. It's not just one player. It's multiple players have to deal with every single time for foul trouble issues. So yeah, that's just the way it's been going. Luckily, had my savior TJ Warren go for 70 fantasy points. Was really high on him. Was really high on Thomas Bryant. Warren went for 70. Thomas Bryant went for 44. Now, sure, Thomas Bryant had a good game, but if you go back and look at those minutes, he played 29 minutes. He played 38 minutes the last game. Imagine if he gets his 38 minutes. He probably goes for 60. I was looking at that. I was like, why is he not getting run? Now, sure, it's a back-to-back, right? So I figured he might lose a couple minutes, not 9 minutes, right? So that was a little tilting too. Gallinari, I don't know if you guys watched that. He played 29 minutes in overtime. I believe it was 29 minutes. Hold on, let me confirm that. Yeah, so if the game didn't go to overtime, Gallinari would have only played 24 minutes. He's the guy that plays 32 minutes on a nightly basis. There's no reasoning, wasn't in foul trouble. Billy Donovan just didn't want to play him. I was looking, I was like, why is Gallinari not in? For some reason, lost 8 minutes there for absolutely no reason. And then Ja Morant right now is currently having one of his worst shooting days. I think he's like 3 of 17. So that's not optimal, but he was really chalky. SGA was really chalky. The reason I got into SGA Gallinari was because Schroeder was out. Kind of wish Schroeder just played because my previous lineup didn't have SGA and Gallinari. Would have been a lot better. Also a little bit tilted too about Malcolm Brogdon. I was like, if Malcolm Brogdon, if I knew he was going to play his normal minutes, I would love him. And what do? They say his minutes are monitored. They play him more minutes than usual. They play 35. He's a guy who was getting like low 30s minutes like normally. I was just like, are you kidding me? Like really? So yeah, a lot to tilt about there, but got the tilting out of the way. All in all, I think it's to be a cashing night again. TJ Warren was really helping me out here. I had to deal with foul trouble issues with Troy Brown, SGA, unfortunately. Super bad shooting night from Ja Morant, but again, he's pretty popular. Derek White, not the best start there with a nice donut in the first 7 minutes. Also, I saw DeMar DeRozan's finally wanting to shoot the ball. He's just shot the ball like 8 times already in the first quarter after shooting the ball 10 times in the previous 2 games. Like, okay, DeMar. That's tilting about that too. But yeah, that's a look back. I think I'm gonna stay in the cash here, but we'll see. Hopefully Derek White and Ja Morant can pick it up a little bit. All right, let's go over. We have again 6 games. It's an earlier start here, 1:30 Eastern start. Only 4 of the 6 out right now. We have the Mavs and the Kings, a 237 over under. The Mavs are 6-point favorites. Suns, Clippers, a 230 over under. The Clippers are 9-point favorites. Celtics, Heat, a 223.5 over under. Celtics are 3.5-point favorites. Rockets and Trailblazers, a 244 over under. Rockets are 5-point favorites. The 2 games they don't have out right now, Brooklyn, Milwaukee. I don't know if you guys saw, Brooklyn is resting LeVert, Jared Allen, and Joe Harris. Milwaukee gets Eric Bledsoe back. I don't know what the line is going to be at that game. I think it could be like Milwaukee favored by like 20 almost. Like, I don't know how Brooklyn is going to score the ball. And then what's the other game that we don't have out? Is it Orlando, Indiana, I'm assuming? Yeah, because we're probably waiting on Oladipo, maybe Brogdon news too. So, all right, let's get into the player-by-player breakdown. We'll start with center. Porzingis at the top at 9K. I mean, he's gone under-owned in back-to-back slates, 70 and 52 fantasy points. So, clearly Porzingis still has upside playing alongside Luka. Him and Luka are playing huge minutes, right? They're both playing high 30s minutes every night. This matchup against Sacramento, not afraid of Sacramento. They've been playing no defense again, almost a 240 over/under. So Porzingis, I have interest in. Even at 9K, I think he is certainly in play. Yusuf Nurkic is a guy I was high on in the last two slates. Really liked him at 5.9. Liked him as a contrarian option. Last slate at 7.7. Back-to-back 50 fantasy point games. Again, what you're going to get with Nurkic is he fills up the stat sheet. Points, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals. I just love playing players like this. And this is like one of the best possible matchups. My slight concern is Houston does like running small ball. Sorry about that, guys. Houston does, run small ball, right? PJ Tucker at the 5, Jeff Green at the 5. So does Portland match him maybe and just like give Zach Collins run at the 5? That is a slight concern. But I think if Nurkic gets his 32 minutes, I think he could still have a good day for his price. So I like Nurkic. Again, I like that he's power forward eligible too. That's always a plus. Vucevic at 7.8, I like. Now, Orlando's been in back-to-back games where they've blown out. They blew out Brooklyn. They blew out Sacramento. So he's only played 27 and 24 minutes. Normally he's a guy that's going to play 35 minutes. And the price now came way down on him. I'm not really scared of Miles Turner defense or behind him TJ Leaf or Jakar Sampson, right? So, yeah, Vucevic is a guy that I like a good amount at 7.8. I don't know if he's going to pick up that much ownership, but I really, really like the price on him. I think he's way too cheap. Again, 2 games were blowouts, lowered his price. This is the time to buy back in on Vooch, so I do really like Vucevic there at 7.8. Bam Adebayo at 7.7. The minutes haven't been as high as they were earlier in the year. He was a guy who was playing at times 35-plus minutes, only 28 and 32. Not sure, again, that was a blowout. So he's going to play about 32 minutes if nothing goes crazy. 7.7, the match against Boston is just okay. I'm not like super, super excited about it. I would much prefer getting to Vucevic for an extra $100. DeAndre Ayton at 7.5. The matchup, not really the best, but he's a guy that's going to get big minutes. And he was in foul trouble last game, so don't be worried about that. I think we get 35 plus from Ayton here. The price did come down to 7.5, so I kind of like Ayton. He's going to be matched up against like Zubac and JaMychal Green maybe for a bit. I'm not really scared of the matchup. More of his Clippers, a little bit better team defensively, right? So I have interest there in Ayton. Again, I like Nurkic that he's power forward eligible. Miles Turner at 6.5. His usage again, it goes way up with no Sabonis, possibly no Oladipo, maybe no Brogdon. We'll see. It's a back-to-back. So I think he's an interesting play, but I would just rather get to Vucevic for a little bit more in the same game. Still no Montrez. Brook Lopez at 5.7. It's a revenge game narrative. It's a great spot, but I don't have confidence this game stays close. So I'm probably going to avoid the Milwaukee side, even though it's a really good matchup. I don't know if I can do it, right? If I knew the game was going to stay close, then yeah, I would have a little interest there in Brook Lopez and revenge game, but I don't think I can go there. Holmes at 5.2. So Delton, with foul trouble the first game and then the blowout the second game, has lost minutes. I think we normally get Richaun Holmes for about 32 minutes, but it's a little bit scary because Harry Giles played really well behind him. He went off in limited time. So does Luke Walton now kind of split it with the center minutes? I don't know, right? That is a slight concern. But if I knew Richaun Holmes was going to play his 32 minutes, I would love him at this price. I don't know if his minutes are necessarily secure. Whiteside's going to pass. Daniel Tice at 4.9. Don't think we have to go there. I'll pass on Kleber. Zubac did play 24 minutes. Didn't see any of the blowout run too, which is good, right? He was on pace for decent run. I think they're going to need him out there to guard DeAndre Ayton. So I have a little bit interested in Zubac for value. 4.5. I think he goes under the radar on this one. Karuk's at 4-3. I need to see what Brooklyn's going to do with their starting lineup, really. It's going to be ugly, right? I assume maybe like Tyler Johnson, Garrett Temple, TLC, maybe Karuk's and like Dante. Like, I don't know. It's so ugly, Brooklyn. But obviously, there is going to be some value. Now, Draftkings did a good job pricing some of the guys up. They priced up Tyler Johnson a lot. Chiozo got a price bump. Garrett Temple's price went up. But there are some cheaper, like the bigs, right? Like Karuk's or Dante Hall. That's probably where I would look for some value. So I'm going to see what they do with the starting lineup. But I definitely have interest in some of those value guys depending on who starts. Zach Collins at 4-3, the price finally came up on him. He's had back-to-back slates where he's dealt with foul trouble. I think normally we get over 30 minutes from Zach Collins. It's a really good matchup, but it's just tough because he's always in foul trouble, and he's kind of hurt me the last two slates. Now, Dante Hall, again, hasn't played big minutes, only played 12 the last game against Orlando, but if he picks up a start at center, I would like him at this price just because Brooklyn, they don't have any other bigs. They have Hall now and Karuk's, and that is it. So whoever does start for Brooklyn for the bigs of those two, they could even start both together. Karuk's at the 4, Dante Hall at the 5. Yeah, I have interest there again. Giles played really well last game in blowout time, went for 20 minutes, 34 fantasy points. That's why I'm slightly concerned about Holmes' minutes, right? Maybe Giles and him to split the run, so that is in the back of my mind. I guess they do have Lance Thomas, who technically they played at the 4. 3-8, sure, he's in play too. It's just, this Brooklyn team is so gross. Kelly Olynyk has played 24 and 31 minutes in back-to-back games. He shot the ball really well. He's gone for 35 and 30 fantasy points. This is a revenge spot against Boston. What are the minutes going to be like? I don't think they're necessarily locked in. Like, I would not be surprised if Kelly O just played like 10 minutes in this one. But if he gets like 25 to 30, I think he's a solid value play, and he's been shooting the ball really well. So I think he's in play. But again, those minutes, in my opinion, aren't necessarily locked in. Michael Green's at 3-7. I think it's okay. No Montrez still, right? Him, Zubac should get a good amount of run. So I'm okay with it. Not like my favorite play. Let's see, Boban. He has got a little bit around 5 and 6 minutes. But, I mean, look at that production. 5 minutes, 12 fantasy points. 6 minutes, 13 fantasy points. Kind of crazy, but unless we project Boban for like 15 minutes, I just don't think I can go there. Now, Enes Kanter at 3-4, I think looks intriguing here. Got 20 minutes the last game out because Portland again does run a little bit bigger. Miami, I mean, we know, right? Bam will play good minutes. Will they give Kanter like 15 to 20 minutes? I think it's a possibility. So I think Kanter can play anywhere from like 10 to little over 20 minutes. If he hits that high end, I think he could absolutely crush his salary. If it's a low end, not so much, right? So that's another one that don't really know what the minutes will be like for him. All right, let's move on to power forward. Giannis at the top at 10-9. I'm going to stay away. I don't see how Brooklyn keeps this game close. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if I knew Brooklyn could somehow keep it close, I would really like Giannis at this price, but I have no confidence. No confidence Brooklyn keeps it close. Jason Tatum at 8-3. Had a bounce-back game there, went for 34, 8-4. I mean, he has been playing well. I don't really want to play him in a tough spot against Miami, but I get it if you want to go there. I think he definitely will pick up ownership. It's just Boston is such a balanced team. I hope they kind of give Kemba more run, so I just don't want to consider Tatum in this matchup, but I get it if you go there, right? He's a guy that does have pretty big upside. But I think his score is very high, like his variance is higher. Right? He can go for 50 to 60, or have a low floor of like below 25. So and then TJ Warren, 8K, 70 and 70 fantasy points in the first two games. 41 and 40 minutes. He shot the ball 20 of 29 and 14 of 26. I mean, this last game, he did more, right? I told you the rebounds were going to go up. It went for 11, 4 assists, 4 blocks, 3 steals. Don't think we're going to get that again. But, yeah, I mean, I've played him back-to-back slates. This could be where I hop off. Not really the best spot against Orlando. But if Brogdon and Oladipo are out, then I would have interest. As crazy as it sounds, I would have interest in TJ Warren at 8K. Now, if one or both play, then I would probably not go there. So that kind of depends on the status of those guards. Let's see. Roko's at 7-1. That's a little too expensive for him. Carmelo, revenge game. Again, he played for Houston for a few games. Yeah, it seems okay. Right? It's such a high over under game. I mean, you're going to want some exposure. This one at 244. I'm okay if you land on Melo. Again, he's not my favorite play, but I get it if you go there. Let's see. Yeah, TLC. I mean, they priced him up to 5.3. I don't know if you want to pay 5.3K for TLC. House prices up. Again, he kind of just has to knock down those threes. Jay Crowder, a little revenge spot, 4.6. He'll probably get around 30 minutes. Yeah, another one of those that I'm fine. Like, he's more of a cash game play. He'll probably get you somewhere between 25 to 30 fancy points or so. B Elite's at 4 or 5. I mean, the price is coming down there, but again, Sacramento's really been struggling. I don't know what the minutes are going to be like for him. I mean, I don't mind taking a shot there because it is a really cheap price. Let's see. Already mentioned Karooks and Collins. Other options. I'm not going to get to airplane mode on this one. All right, I think that really wraps up. Did Jabari Parker get run that last game? 6 minutes. Like, he's still just like on the end of the bench, just not getting any run. That's kind of crazy. All right, let's move on to small forward. Luka at the top at 10-7. Again, this game does look very appealing as well. The plus with Luka and Porzingis is the big minutes, right? They're both going to play around 38 minutes. The reason why I love playing Luka is just the triple-double upside every single time he takes the court. He does it all. I'm not scared of Sacramento defensively, so I do like Luka a good amount here as a spend up. Kawhi and Paul George, prices didn't move. That last game, don't be worried. Only played 27 for Kawhi and like 25 or so for Paul George, 26. It was a blowout. They did not see any fourth quarter run. They were crushing it. And if this game stays close, I think we get over 30. I think we could probably get 33 or so from both. I'm not scared of anyone in Phoenix defensively, and that one's supposed to be a really high over-under as well. 230 over-under. So, yeah, I like Kawhi. I like Paul George still. 9-1 and an 8-1. I think they look really, really solid. Again, the Milwaukee guys, I'm just staying away. No confidence that game stays close. Jimmy Butler is at 7-2. That's more of just like a price tag play, right? I'm not really excited to target him against Boston, but 7-2 feels too cheap for Jimmy Butler. So that's more of like a cash play. Again, just kind of the salary is, in my opinion, too cheap. I'm not going to get to THJ at 6-1. Let's see, Oladipo. Did they already rule him out? They just ruled him out for Monday. We'll see, right? I got to keep an eye on this news. If him and Brogdon are both out, then I would have a little bit more interest in a guy like TJ Warren. Again, Garrett Temple's priced up now to almost 6K. I don't know if I can do it. Again, Draftkings did a pretty good job pricing these guys up. Bogdan's at 5-2. I think him, Holmes, and Fox would be the guys I would consider here on Sacramento. Again, this one should be played at a really fast pace. Not a whole lot of defense played, so I have a little bit of interest there in Bogdan. I probably prefer Fox and Holmes in the same team, but if you want to go like a full game stack, I think he's viable. Cam Johnson had a big game, but that was because DeAndre Ayton was in foul trouble. 1 for 19 and 12. I'm going to stay away. I'll let others chase that game. Let's see. Other options here. Justin Holiday will play big minutes. He's just such a low usage guy. I played 35 minutes for 13 fancy points. Ugh. Yeah, 4 or 5. I'll pass. Like, even targeting these cheap Milwaukee guys, like, I think probably like one of those guys will have a good game. But they have so many guys they can use. Brown, Connaughton, like George Hill. Sure, probably one or a couple of those guys will have decent games, but they just have so many bodies that no one really stands out, in my opinion. All right, let's move on to shooting guard. Harden the top at 11-3. Only shot the ball 14 times. Now, I did not watch that game, so I need to do a little bit of research or try to look back. I'm curious if Milwaukee double-teamed him, right? Because we saw that in the first game. At least I watched the whole Dallas-Houston game where Dallas literally just double-teamed Harden the whole time, and that was like a slight concern to me. Like, is Milwaukee going to do that? So I need to do a little bit of research to see if Milwaukee did that. If that's the case, then that would worry me, right? Because that's kind of a trend catching on. Teams just doubling Harden. That obviously really hurts his fantasy production. So I got to do a little bit of research and see if they doubled him that last game. But 11-3, again, a match against Portland, you're going to want exposure to this game at 244, right? So love Harden. It's just, my concern is that Portland just double teams them every time. Booker at 8-4. He's a guy that's going to go under the radar. in a matchup against the Clippers. I think he's more just a contrarian GPP play because Booker is a guy that does have 50-plus fantasy point upside every time he takes the court. It's just, I think I prefer other plays around his price range. He's more contrarian option. CJ at 8-2. It kind of feels like a lot to pay for CJ. It's a good matchup, but like I would rather get to Nurkic at a similar price point on the same team. Right, yeah, so no LeVert, no Joe Harris, no Jared Allen. Brooklyn, super, super thin. Other options are Tyler Johnson. Again, they priced him up to 6'6". I mean, he is a guy that I would assume would be shoot the ball a bunch for Brooklyn because they have no one else that's going to shoot the ball. But 6.6K, I'll probably pass. Like, I don't know if I want to get to any of these Brooklyn guards. It's a Garrett Temple, 5'8". Like, sure, yeah. I just think DraftKings did a good job to not make like all the Brooklyn be super chalk, right? And just everyone plays the Brooklyn guys. Aaron Holiday, 5-1. This play is strictly dependent on Brogdon and Oladipo news. If both of them are out, then I would like Aaron Holiday a lot. If one or both play, then not so much. So it's just dependent on the news there with Oladipo and Malcolm Brogdon. Lou Williams, they did say he's considered questionable. We'll see. If he plays, I would have a little bit of interest there in Lou. And then, obviously, if he plays, that would be a downgrade to Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. So, got to keep an eye on this, too. I think that is pretty big news. If he plays, too, that kind of takes Reggie Jackson out of play for value. So, yeah, that's the slate-changing news right there with the stats of Lou Williams. Now, Jamal Crawford at 4-7. If he's going to be available to play, he would be a guy I would take a shot on. I know 4-7. We haven't seen Jamal Crawford all year, but he is just a guy that's going to shoot the ball a ton when he's out there. So we'll see. Hopefully we get some news, and if he's going to be on a minutes limit or anything like that. If not, if they're going to just let Jamal Crawford free and just let him shoot the ball as much as he wants, then yeah, I would like Jamal. I'll get him out there 4-7. Let's see. Garrett Trent had a good shooting day. He's had a good minutes, right? 26 and 34, but I just don't like playing score-independent guys. Right? He does nothing else besides score, so I'm going to pass there. I'll let others chase. Bazemore's at 4-1. The minutes haven't been great for him, but he's been playing decent, and people have been pushing for Bazemore to get more minutes. Maybe they start him. We'll see if Luke Walton changes the starting lineup around. I don't know. So I would have a little bit of interest there in Bazemore if he starts. If they continue to start like Harrison Barnes, then I'll probably pass. As gross as it sounds, I think Javon Carter and Cam Payne are okay. Javon Carter, 25 and 26 minutes. Cam Payne has played 19 and 20. So both are going to get a decent run, and both are close to mid-price. I know you're not going to feel good clicking Javon Carter or Cam Payne's name, but the minutes are there right now. So if you're going superstars and scrubs, I could see getting to one of those guys. Lastly, all right, so I already talked about Harden and Doncic. Now, Lillard at 9-9 kind of feels like a lot to pay for Lillard, but this spot against Houston plays absolutely no defense. I have interest there. I would rather get to Lillard than CJ personally. I would rather pay the extra, $1,500 or so. Westbrook at 9-4. I think Westbrook looks really good here. Again, if teams are going to continue to double Harden, then that makes Westbrook a lot more viable. So again, I do have to watch a little bit of tape there the last game, see how Milwaukee defended Harden. De'Aaron Fox is 7-3. This is one of my favorite plays. Wasn't on him last game against Orlando, again, because they're tough defensively. But the price has now come down. Matchup, I'm not really scared of Dallas defensively. In the first game, he went for 38 minutes and 54 fantasy points. So if we get normal minutes from Fox, if we get like 35 plus at 7-3, I do like Fox a good amount. I think Rubio's interesting too at 6-7. Well, sure, right? In the matchup, not really good. Pat Beverly, solid defender, but he's not going to be out there a whole lot, right? He'll get matched up against like Reggie Jackson a little bit. I kind of like Rubio. He's just a do-it-all guy, rebounds, assist, can score the ball. I went for 29 and 7 that last game. Yeah, I think Rubio is a pretty good play at under 7K. Tyler Johnson, again, he's 6'6". I don't know if I can pay 6'6" for him. Kemba at 6'4". They've been limiting his minutes now. I'm interested to see what his minutes limit is. If it's going to be like 28 or so, then I would have slight interest in Kemba. But if it's going to be like 22, 23, I don't think I can do it. So got to keep an eye on that, obviously. Again, Bledsoe back, but I just can't play anyone in Milwaukee. Now, Malcolm Brogdon at 5'4", this is, we got to keep an eye on this, right? It's a back-to-back, so who knows? But if Brogdon plays, and he's going to get, again, they just unleashed him for 35 minutes, I love him at this point. I think he's the best play. Even if Oladipo plays, I love Brogdon at 5'4". Now, if he's out, obviously he can't go there. If he's going to be limited, wouldn't have as much interest. So we'll see with Malcolm Brogdon. If he plays, he's not going to be limited. I think he's the best play of the day at 5'4". Even in a tough spot against Orlando, that's just way, way too cheap for Malcolm Brogdon. And Shields is priced up at 5'3". Holiday, that's, again, dependent on Brogdon and Oladipo news. Let's see, Reggie Jackson at 4'9". This is dependent on Lou Williams news. If Lou Williams is out, I would have a little bit of interest in Reggie. Only played 20 again. That was a blowout. I think normally we get closer to 30 minutes from Reggie Jackson, who's been playing well for this team. So just dependent on Lou Williams news if I have interest or not. Let's see. Other options. Yeah, George Hill, again, with Bledsoe coming back. Yeah, I just don't really want to play anyone at Milwaukee, to be honest. Trey Burke. Kind of crazy. Dallas rotations, besides Luka and Porzingis, are always so inconsistent. That's why I never feel good about targeting anyone else in Dallas. He played 30 the first game, went off, and then only played 12 the second game. So it's just like the secondary pieces in Dallas, I just never get to unless there's like a lot of injuries. That's really it. So lastly, again, we'll talk about Brooklyn since they're completely depleted right now. Like, how many players are they're gonna have active, right? So Tyler Johnson's 1, Garrett Temple 2, Shows 3, TLC 4, possibly Crawford. We'll say no for now. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Say Crawford's out. 5, 6, 7. Jeremiah Martin will get minutes. 8. Is Claxton available? No, he's out. Is Justin Anderson? He's available. Okay, so that's another body. That's 9. Musa, he's available too. That's 10. Okay, so they do have. Okay, so 1, 2. Again, make sure my math is right here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's if Jamal Crawford's out. If Jamal Crawford is in, that's 11 active bodies. So, yeah, I mean the Brooklyn value. I think where I would look is the big. So either Kurucs or Dante Hall. Probably would prefer Dante Hall to Kurucs. Again, that's assuming he starts. If they start like Lance Thomas at the 5, that's kind of gross. So, yeah, I'm interested in Brooklyn, but just probably the bigs for me. I don't think I get to the guards. I think that's really going to do it for today's video, guys. So if you haven't enjoyed the content so far, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, again, a 5-star rating and review would be greatly appreciated. I will be live streaming for this one probably 30 minutes before lock. I'll try to be live. So I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you updated. It is important to follow me on Twitter. It's in the description below. I'll keep you guys updated when I plan to go live. Again, it'll probably only be about a 30-minute live stream, but there I will go over all the news we get, answer any questions you guys have. So yeah, thanks again, guys. Hope you guys all have a good day, and I will see you all in the live stream tomorrow.